Hey, what's good, everybody? It's time for a fair shake review of Baekhyun's third mini-album, Bambi. Um, you don't think I look like your usual host, Bloodmaster 5? Well, you caught on to my game. My name is Miko Suzuhiro. I am part of the Muddy Cult family. I am the sole owner, editor-in-chief, what have you. I also run my own channel called Muddy Cult Madhouse, and we decided to collaborate and switch places for April Fool's Day. We've both tasked each other with two kinds of videos that the other person normally does, and then we told the other two things for them to review or react to. So this is my first entry for April Fool's Day, and I hope you enjoy it. If you want to see what Blitmaster 5 has been tasked to do, go check out my channel and you can see what shenanigans I gave him. And later on in the month, there'll be another video with my face gracing this lovely space on the Fair Shake Review channel. And then his face will also be gracing my channel on Muddy Cult Madhouse. Please check that out, support, give him some love over there. This has been a really fun little task that we have done, and I'm looking forward to doing more collaborations with him. So today I was tasked to do a review of a Baekhyun anything, just anything by the man. People on my channel know that I have kind of like this weird relationship with him, and BM5 knows that I don't particularly care for him too much. And if you haven't noticed, if I'm a Jersey, Shin is my bias. I don't know if you can see my poster. Shin. He's also right here behind me. Jen. So, Shin's my thing. So, I mean, there's other members of EXO I love. But here we are. I decided to cover Baekhyun's newest mini album that he just released yesterday, I believe, on March 30th, called Bambi. So the difference between BM5 and myself is that I am pretty much a veteran of the K-pop genre, the K-pop fandom, I guess. I guess that's a better way. I'm a veteran of the K-pop fandom. I've been part of it since 2007-2008, so I am no stranger to the genre, and I know normally he doesn't do reviews of K-pop albums because he doesn't feel comfortable, but I do, and here we are. So I took some notes, old school post-it note. I don't know how many times he listens to albums and projects and stuff to get a real feel of how he feels about stuff, but I decided to only listen to it once because time, and I think I just got the gist of how I feel, so this is just really kind of like somewhat of a first impression, first feeling of it. The mini album contains 6 tracks, which is pretty much the standard for most mini albums or extended plays, EPs. And I'm just going to go track by track and tell you how I felt about them. The first track was called Love Scene. I really liked it. It had like a nice groovy bass guitar duo. It gave me like a very comforting feeling because it's very R&B, and I know his vocals kind of lend to that genre the most, because I'm used to him doing lots of like high notes, and he's one of the, I don't know if he's like the main singer of EXO. I don't really look at who's what position, but I know he is one of the vocal line. He does have very strong vocals, and I have acknowledged and appreciated that he does have strong vocals, and even in Super M that he is a part of, I acknowledge that he has really good vocals, but sometimes I get kind of tired of these high notes, and I'll get into that like later. But Love Scene is a very good song. I enjoy that it showed off a broad range of his vocals, especially in the lower register, because I don't think he really utilizes that as much, but maybe he does. I probably should have prefaced that this is the first like solo, like full project that I have heard of his. I have watched maybe a couple PVs, but it wasn't for this album, so I have not watched the music video for Bambi, unfortunately. But maybe after this review, I'll go watch it. I just wanted to go completely blind and get a full like immersion of the music and not have the visual like influence my feelings toward it. But Love Scene was pretty good, and I really liked it. It was very smooth. I really enjoyed the bass and guitar and his lower range flowing through it. It was really enjoyable, and I thought it was like a really good track to start off on. I ended up liking it on my Spotify, which is where I listened to it. The second one is the title track called Bambi, or Bambi, as he kind of pronounced it in the song, which I thought was kind of interesting. I am not or anywhere close to being fluent to Korean, but sometimes you can kind of get the feeling of what the song could be about, or the tone or feel or whatever emotion that it's supposed to portray. So I have a feeling a lot of these are like very much like love songs and stuff that have to do with relationships. I thought it was another like nice like guitar riff in an R&B genre setting, so like it felt really familiar, nothing like new to me. Although I did have a little bit of problem with the chorus, like I thought it could have been, I don't know, I feel like there should have been like a little bit more to the chorus, if that's possible. I don't know. I just kind of, like, the more I, like, listened to it as the song progressed, I just got tired of him just being like, Bambi, Bambi, yeah. I kind of got tired of that, and I just wanted just maybe a little bit more to the chorus, or less of it, maybe. I don't know. It just got repetitive, but the music was really good, and I enjoyed that, and the times that he did sing was nice as well. I've already said I'm going to go check out the music video after this, see if my feelings changed to the song, but I didn't really care for it too much, but it wasn't awful. Definitely wasn't a bad song. It was decent, but I mean, Love Scene was such a strong start. Maybe it was like, nah, it's fine. The third track was called All I Got, which gave me a very 2000s R&B a la Brandy, which isn't a bad thing. I really like Brandy. I couldn't say I love her, but I do really like Brandy. I don't really listen to her a lot, but it gave me like that kind of vibe, and I thought the song really, really showed off his range from, you know, just his whole vocal range, and I really appreciated that. There were tons of high notes, which I did mention that he really prides himself on, and I know a lot of K-pop artists, not a lot, but there are some K-pop artists where I don't know if it's the member in the group or the producer or whatever that ingrains this whole like, hey, your thing is this like high note, we're gonna shoehorn it in as much as possible. And for me, that kind of gets really boring, and I really think that those things should be like used sparingly. I think SHINee does a good job of this, because I know that there's some moments where it's like, we're gonna hit that vocal, that high note in this song, and just this song, and all the other ones, it's like, we'll hit a high note, but it's not as high. It's not that standout, spectacular high note. But I noticed, like, listening to EXO songs and at Super M songs, like, this gets used a lot, and I just think, you know, we should, like, save that moment, that spectacular moment. We don't have to use it for every other song. There are other vocalists in EXO and Super M that can also really sing. Anyway, but they really did use this, and I also thought that the song could have been cut down just a little bit. I think it was like 4 minutes long or so. Most of the time, like, I don't, like, 4-minute songs aren't that bad. I mean, it's not super, super long. Most, like, songs go from, like, 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes to, like, 3 minutes or so, 3.5 minutes. 4-minute songs aren't terrible. It's just that it felt like it just kept going on and on and on with this like repetitive bridge chorus part. I can't really remember what it was. Layered with like this whole like I'm gonna show off how my vocals can go up here and down here and over here. It was just much, and I just was like, I'm kind of done with this song. Can we move on? And as I say that, I'm going to move on to the next track, which was Amusement Park, which sounded like your typical Korean R&B if you're used to listening to a lot of Korean R&B. It's a genre that I like more than K-pop a lot of the time, or at least I like to admit that that's what I'm a fan of, is Korean R&B and hip-hop. I really like it, and I think it's a little underrated, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's not underrated. Maybe K-pop is just, since it's just all the way up here, but I know, like, the general public just likes, you know, the regular stuff. Not the flashy costumes and stuff. I don't know. Could be wrong, but this really sounded like your typical, like, Korean R&B, like something that could be sung by, like, Dean or Jisoo or something. Which isn't a terrible thing because I like those, like, artists, but it just made kind of Baekhyun sound kind of generic. Like, I could see either of them easily singing this song, and maybe even better, especially Dean. Like, I could really hear that this was, like, very much, like, a Dean song, or even, like, Gray. I don't know. It just didn't really speak to me, but, I mean, it also wasn't terrible, but it also was kind of, like, forgettable. It didn't really, like I said, stand out. It just sounded like any other Korean R&B singer. That's it. The second to last track, it was called Privacy, which I felt like it was trying to do something different. It had a nice piano moment in it, and it really, really worked well with Baekhyun's vocals a lot, which I appreciated. But there was this weird, like, I don't know if it was like electronic, like keyboard or like a synth or something. It was some weird, like, electronic, like, element in it that would, like, pop in and out with this, like, nice R&B piano vocal moment, and it's just like, no, we're just gonna add this stuff in here that we would normally, like, save for, like, an actual, like, pop track. I don't know, I didn't really care for it. I thought it was really distracting, and I don't think, like, I needed it in the song, but I'm sure somebody appreciated it and thought it was cool because it's something different that you don't really hear in Korean R&B, but I just thought it was distracting, and it just didn't mesh very well with the mood with the piano. And it's probably, from what my post-it note says, it is my least favorite track. So I would never listen to Privacy, like, ever again. And probably Amusement Park. Like, just throw it in the trash. Didn't care for it. Last but not least, the sixth track on the mini album was called Cry for Love. And I thought that this track, much like the first, really, I mean, well, not really like the first, but I guess in a similar vein to the first track, I thought it ended the album very, very well. It was a very good mini album ender. It brought all of the best parts of this mini and all of the best parts of Baekhyun's vocals all in one track. It was really good. It is probably my favorite track in the whole mini album. I thought it was really classy. I loved the guitar and the bass and just the R&B vibe. It was familiar, but it was elevated and different, and I enjoyed it, and it just suited him very well. And I just thought they did a very good job picking their first and last track. So whoever decided the order of this EP, good job. You did it. 'Cause I really liked that one. So I think BM5 mentions this in his review. I know he definitely mentions this in his reaction. So for my least favorite track of the third mini album, Bambi by Baekhyun, it has to be Privacy. I just can't forgive that little electronic whatever thing that I can't even think of what it is. It just doesn't work, and it's really it just distracts from how beautiful the song could be with the piano and his voice. And my favorite song, probably, it's between the first song, Love Scene, and the very last song, Crazy for Love. But I guess if I had to pick between the two, I'm just going off of my comments of what I wrote on my post-it note. Probably, it sounds like I loved Cry for Love a lot more, because I put that it was a great closer and possibly favorite track. And the other one, I just put I like this one. It's very smooth. But yeah, I think I definitely would pick Cry for Love because it shows off like his whole range and the best parts of the music in the EP works. It's all in that one track, as opposed to the very first track, Love Scene. It just kind of like highlights a lot of his like lower register and a little bit of his mid-range, and it had some like nice groovy like guitar bass, which I love. I love a good guitar bass like groove. Beautiful. But yeah, so that is my review of Baekhyun's Bambi. Tell me what you think in the comments below if you've listened to this yet. I know this is just fresh out of the oven, new, and it's very rare that I get to something like this. But I guess I don't know if I will listen to more of his solo stuff or not, but because I'm like not really into Baekhyun like that, I don't know if I'll ever delve into more of his things. Unless, you know, a certain someone whose channel that I'm on says, hey, review it. But that's it for now. Thank you for watching my review. Please don't forget to check out Muddy Colt Madhouse and support Bloodmaster 5 with his review for April Fools. And I'll see you guys another time on this channel because I am coming back. Much love, peace. Bye.